Good morning, everyone. Today we are in the session 1 of day 4. So the title of the talk will be Mental and Emotional Growth. The speaker is Mr. Vivek Bansal from Rishikesh, Uttarakhand. Now I'll be introducing him to you. Vivek Bansal is a mindfulness coach, access bars facilitator, and educator of meditation and yoga philosophy. His experience as a successful software engineer and as a monk for 20 years and as an integral part of many yoga TTC programs in India and abroad contributes to his rooted wisdom and creative approach in teaching. He believes in transforming all the layers of one's personality: physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual. He has created noteworthy programs merging Vedic knowledge systems with modern psychology to help people in one's journey of awareness of the self. He has been a catalyst for change in people's life as a life coach and freelance educator of programs in meditation, mindfulness, Bhagavad Gita, and Vedic knowledge. This is all about the speaker. I welcome you, sir, and thank you for joining us in this Atal FTP. Now I'll be introducing the participants to you. In this program, there are 200 participants, out of which maximum participants are from Andhra Pradesh with 25 participants, Tamil Nadu with 46 participants, then Maharashtra with 24 participants, Karnataka with 10 participants, and the participants from other states are uh, around 10, less than 10. And from Uttar Pradesh, we have 13 participants. This is all about participants. The participants are from various fields of engineering. Thank you. Thank you for joining. I welcome you, sir. Now, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vijay Lakshmi, and I really appreciate and very much thankful to you and the institute who has given me this opportunity. Am I audible, Doctor?
Yes, sir.
Can carry on now. I can see only your screen on the. It's okay. They can see me. I'm just checking. So today we are going to discuss mental and emotional growth, and it is a very important topic, especially in today's time. Let me introduce you first what I'm going to talk about. The whole idea is that people are not very much aware that how much attention they need in regard to taking care of their emotions, taking care of their mental well-being. And it is a very important aspect because there is IQ, all of you know. IQ is intelligent quotient, and lot of people are very much fascinated if somebody is very intelligent. And many of the participants, most of the participants who are there in this, uh, FDP program, are from engineering background, and they really appreciate the intellectual aspect. But in real world, more than the intelligent aspect, emotional aspect is needed. It's called EQ, emotional quotient. I don't know how many of you have heard about it. So there is IQ, there is EQ, and there is PQ. PQ is physical quotient, physical fitness. And then there is SQ after that, that is called a spiritual quotient, knowledge. Somebody may have a lot of degrees, but in real life, whether in office or at home, personal emotional response is totally different. Mm. So if we observe our emotions and if we learn to take care of them, then life can be much better. And what is mental growth? Mental growth is again ability to take care of your mind, because mind is something which is very mysterious thing, because mind and brain are two different, totally different things. Brain is like a hardware, and in that the software which runs that, in yoga language we call it mind or chitta. And mind has vrittis, mind has many impressions, and samskaras we call it, impressions or the information which mind is storing. And this information goes to the mind through our five senses. It's a very simple philosophy I'll begin with. Like we have this body and we have five senses: eyes, nose, ears, tongue, skin. So these are the five senses through which we are actually taking all the information into our mind. And based on the information or experiences we have, either in the past or present, we may take our actions and we respond to the situations. And mind is a neutral guy. Mind is not somebody who is our enemy or friend. It depends how we train the mind. It's very simple process actually. So let me show you my presentation to begin with, and then we again come to the. So this is my presentation today, mental and emotional growth. And let's begin with that. Emotions are based on our thoughts. So we all are emotional beings, whether male or female, even the other species, we all have emotions.
But slides are not shown.
Pardon?
Slide is not visible, sir.
Not visible. Really?
No, it is visible.
But that time it was showing when I showed you. There is some. What is coming on the screen?
Emotions are based on our thoughts.
Ah, this is the slide.
Okay.
This is the slide. Yeah, this is the point which I'm going to discuss on. I don't have too much text to show. I will be showing little only. So emotions are based on our thoughts. This is the only point I'm talking. So what I'm saying is we all are emotional beings, but our emotions are based on what we think. And what we think is based on what information or what experiences or what knowledge we have been gathering. So we have to be extremely careful what we are actually taking into our system through our senses. And if we don't work on our thoughts, then we cannot work on our emotions. And feelings are based on the way we think, and our beliefs influence our feelings. Now, this point is very important. Let me talk about it. Our beliefs influence our feelings. What are beliefs? Beliefs are like something which we have developed from our childhood. Beliefs are patterns. Like if a child is growing in a somebody in mind mic is creating noise. Please mute yourself. Yeah. So somebody is growing in a family where control is shown everything. Please mute yourself. Yeah. Somebody is growing in a family where control is everything, like his mother and father, everybody's in a controlling mood. So this person develops the mindset that when that person will grow up, that he or she will think that the control, having power is everything in life. And that whole focus in life will be to have the control in life. If somebody is grown up in a family where person thinks that money is everything, his parents, his relatives, his society only talks about money. So that person will, when he will grow up, he will have mindset that money is everything. If person has been suppressed, his emotion has been suppressed, not much freedom is given, that person will develop a mindset that nobody can control me, and he will actually get very irritated if somebody will try to control that person. So the feelings which we are carrying right now, those feelings are based on the kind of environment we have been living in from our childhood, the kind of culture we were living in the childhood, from the childhood. Somebody is living in a culture where everything is very open-minded, no restriction, nothing. So then that person has different kind of belief system. So our belief systems plays major role when we talk about emotions and feelings and mental stability. Somebody has been abused, like many women, they go through different kind of abuse in life, and they develop a different kind of belief system and pattern towards man, towards opposite sex. So this is the thing which we are trying to, going to discuss with you, that how to work on our belief system. If we can change our belief system, then we can definitely work on bringing our stability. So now here something is written. It's not what happens to you that makes you upset. It's your point of view which makes you upset. It's not that what is happening to me, because for different people, Same thing is happening, but their reaction is different in the same situation. And that's where the belief system and how your mind reacts to the situation comes into picture. That's where the emotional quotient comes into the picture. Like if somebody is going for a party and one of his friend comes and just gives some bad words to him or her. Now this time the response depends how much mental growth has been taken place into the person's life.
நீங்கள் அழைத்திருக்கும் நபரால் தற்போது உங்களுக்கு பதிலளிக்க இயலவில்லை. தயவு செய்து பின்னர் முயற்சி செய்யவும். आप जिस व्यक्ति को कॉल कर रहे हैं.
So how much growth has been taken place in the life will depend on how much emotional strength that person has. So the point of view is very important. Point of views are like wearing different kinds of specs. If we are wearing a blue spec, we see the world with the blue eyes. If we are wearing a spec goggle, you can say, instead of specs, with a black color, then we see the world with the black color. If we are wearing the red color, we see the world with the red color. And these point of views are very important to change. If somebody's point of view is very pessimistic, like he thinks, world is not good, everybody is cheater here, and there is not much fun here, and life is so tough, like so many negative pessimism is there, then that person can never be happy. But if somebody's mindset or point of view is that no matter what happens, I give my best, no matter what people do to me, I continue to move on and I continue to improve my behavior, I continue to improvise from my side and giving my best without becoming attached, then that person will not be miserable. So from where we develop these point of views, again, point of views are developed again, the kind of belief system and pattern we have. And from where we get the belief and pattern system? From our friends, from our parents, from our society, from our relatives. So my dear friends, my request to you to begin with this presentation, the most important point which I'm trying to make is, first we need to understand our belief systems, what kind of patterns we are carrying since our childhood. And unless we become aware of our pattern, we cannot bring change in our life. Because to bring change of any kind in life, first you have to understand what kind of person we are, what challenges we have, what limitations we are carrying, what mental blocks we have. Because many of us have a lot of strength, but we don't have the awareness of it. Like if you have heard about this story, this is not a story, it's a reality. When the elephant is very small, they tie it with a rope to the tree. And the rope is strong enough that the small baby of the elephant cannot break it. And as elephant is growing up, rope is the same. It's not that the person who is taking care of the elephant will make the rope stronger and stronger day by day. Rope will remain the same. An elephant is growing in size and growing in strength. Still, the rope is same. Why? Why elephant is not able to break the rope? Now elephant has the power to break the rope, but he is not able to break the rope because elephant belief system is that if I am tied with the rope, I cannot be free. So same thing happens with us. There are certain kind of rope we have put around us since our childhood, and we think I can't do this, I can't do that. Like somebody was trying to dance in the childhood on a stage or in the home, and one of the friend or relative, that person said, oh, you don't dance nicely. And that block has come now. That limitation has come now. And that emotional weakness has come now. Somebody told us, you're not so beautiful, you're not so handsome, you're not so, some people consider being white, to be beautiful. But it's not like that. It's like people mindset we have gathered on ourselves. There is another story about it, point of view, like how we just develop the pattern and belief system. Once there was an eagle, and one of her egg fell among chickens, fell among hen. and this egg was hatched by the hen, and this small eagle who came out of the egg, she started growing up with other chickens. She started growing up with other hen. And eventually, although she's an eagle, she started thinking, I am one of them. And she was not able to fly in the sky. She was not able to do the things which other hen were doing, behaving like a hen, behaving like other chickens. And later on, when one person saw her behaving like that, that person actually helped her to come out of this mindset. That person took the eagle to the cliff of the mountain, and by taking to the cliff of the mountain, he showed her the sky and the other eagles flying in the sky, and made her realize that how powerful you are. So we need somebody, some coach, some kind of personality, some kind of coach, some kind of friend who reminds us of our strengths. So your emotional response depends on your belief system, my friends. Please check your belief system, whether it is limiting you or it is helping you to grow in life. Like here are a few things I have written. If your employer falsely accuses you of taking money from her purse and threatens to fire you, and if you believe she has no right to accuse me, and you think she's a cunning lady, you feel angry, you know. So like something has happened, it has ignited some kind of feeling in you, anger in you, and then what happens? What will be the response? Response depend on your belief system. If you had held a different belief, your emotional response would have been different. Now, what was the belief you had? The belief you had that she's a cunning lady and you get angry at her. Now, there can be another belief system will be there. Your employer falsely accuses you of taking money from our purse and threatens to fire you. And if you believe I must lose my job, that would be unbearable and you feel anxious. Like in the first belief system, you're getting angry. And in the second belief system, you're becoming anxious. It's based on from which space you're coming. If you're coming from the space that I may lose my job, like you have that insecurity constantly, then you will be anxious all the time. So the people who have some kind of insecurity, they only feel anxiousness in life. They feel too much worry in relationship, in job. But if somebody is like carefree, carefree means doesn't mean irresponsible. Carefree means not so attached to the job, not so attached to something, but doing his best or doing her best, that person will not feel anxious. It's not your employee's false accusation and threat that you make you angry. It is your belief that she's a cunning lady and has no right to accuse you. So this belief system makes you angry that she's not good, she's not good, she is bad. But although she may have done that thing because of something else, because of some particular situation, because of some misunderstanding, because of her mood was not good that day. But many times we just brand people, we just tag people. This person is this person is that, and we start getting frustrated by them. So it is not her accusation and threat that makes you anxious. It is your belief that you must not lose your job and that losing your job would be unbearable. So this thought itself creating too much anxiety. So now do you understand how our thoughts and patterns and belief systems lead to different emotions? And if we can work on our thoughts, beliefs, and patterns, we can change our emotions and we can be much happier in life compared to what we are doing now. Many people in life, they have everything. They have good job, they have good partner, they have good family, they have good house, they're living in a very nice, lavish lifestyle, but still their emotions are very imbalanced because their thought patterns are in the right direction. So if you have happy thoughts, you will feel happy. If you have angry thoughts, you will feel angry. If you have fearful thoughts, you will feel afraid. Think about it. Take a moment. Just close your eyes wherever you're sitting. Just close your eyes for say 10 seconds and try to experience this what I'm talking about. If you have happy thoughts, if you have angry thoughts, if you have fearful thoughts, the easier one to experience is the third one. Think of some fearful thought and immediately you feel afraid. And best of all, if you change your thoughts, you can change your feelings. This is the point. By monitoring and adjusting your thinking. So how we do that, that we can discuss a little later on. You can stubbornly refuse to be miserable about anything. So being happy or miserable is in our hand, my dear friends. Becoming happy doesn't depend on something external. Becoming happy depends completely how you are developing your inner software. Let's talk from an engineering language point of view. If you can change your inner software means the programming which take place in your mind. If you do reprogramming of it, then I can assure you, you can be happy in any situation, whether externals are favorable to you or externals are not favorable to you. But if internal programming is not right, then no matter what wonderful situation we are in, even if we are living in the palace, we will not be happy. But if internal programming and software is wonderful, then even if we are living under the tree, we can enjoy that. So we need to just adjust. Like I give you a simple example. Like say, if it happens that you end up stuck in a forest because of some reasons. Now, two options you have. You can be miserable thinking that I'm stuck in the forest. And the second option is that you may just start relishing the breezes in the forest, the greenery in the forest, uh, beautiful fragrance of the forest. And maybe after some time you get some help and you come out of it, but you're not panicking. Or let's talk about the COVID 19 lockdown situation, which we all have gone through and still going through. We're stuck at home. Although it's not very pleasing to live at that all the time at one place, but still many people have taken good advantage of living at home. Many people have learned so much in last 1 year. I personally have done so many courses, read many books, worked on my fitness a lot. So everything has its pros and cons, my friends. And in every situation, you can find some positive outlook in that. And that's where the thought process and thinking comes into picture. So please think about it and work in that direction. And you can choose to be happy. This is the last line in my slide. You can choose to be happy. Happiness is a choice. Happiness is a choice. People think happiness can come only to the people who are very successful materially, who have achieved a lot in their life. No, that is not true. If that would have been true, the developed countries like America and Japan and many other European countries would have been like people living there would have been very happy. But the survey shows different. Survey shows that people are not so happy there. And I have been meeting so many foreigners in Rishikesh for last 5 years because I've been teaching to so many yoga teacher training courses. And when you hear their stories, I mean, I don't want to talk about it, but like I can understand life is not so full of happiness, which appears from external point of view. So happiness is a choice, whether in America, whether in India, whether in Europe, whether in a city, whether you're in a village. It just depends what is your mindset. So for that, first step is you have to learn to be authentic. What do you mean by authentic? What do you mean by authentic? Hmm. Authentic means you have to be vulnerable first. You know, vulnerable. Vulnerable word is not very popular because people feel being vulnerable is your weakness. Vulnerable means expressing your difficulties in front of somebody. Vulnerable means just sharing what you're going through, your bad phase, your good phase. Vulnerable means to accept your weakness. And in outside world, it is considered to be a weakness. But being vulnerable is a strength in our yoga philosophy or the emotional quotient subject. Because to accept your weakness and asking for help is actually a strength, it's not a weakness. But the problem is that people don't have faith. People don't have faith in somebody in front of whom they can be vulnerable. So that's why we need to first find a friend or a coach or a partner, whatever, a person who will not judge us. Because to be vulnerable, you need somebody who who is not what you say. who's not in a situation of judging us. And if people start judging us, we will not be authentic. So start to be vulnerable and say to yourself, if you are feeling nervous, I'm just giving one example here. If you're feeling nervous, say to yourself, I'm nervous. First, you vulnerable to yourself. First, face your own emotions and feelings. And then, if you're nervous, don't deny your own feelings. Because if you deny your negative feelings, they become more powerful. And when they become more powerful, you become more weak. So we need to face them if you want to develop yourself emotionally and mentally. And if you can talk about your feelings, it is much, much better. First thing is to face them, accept them. And second is to find somebody with whom you can talk about your feelings. It is much better. Because authenticity is the key. Being honest is the key. Because unless you have the courage to face yourself, how can you face the world? Unless you have the courage to face your own strength and weakness, how can you accept another person's strength and weaknesses? Because when you will see other people's strength, you will feel envious. And when you see other people's weakness, you would like to exploit that person. You will feel like, where am I stuck? But when we accept ourselves the way we are, we can accept others also the way they are. And that's where the emotional growth starts in life. That's where the mental strength starts in life. That's where you start learning to work in teams. What happens in the team, whether it's a professional team or a family team, that you start accepting each other's strength and weaknesses. So first step, accept your own strength and weaknesses, deal with them, and then you can accept other people's strength and weaknesses and you will learn to deal with them. If you have that power, you can transform yourself. Being authentic means being honest, being gentle, not beating yourself, being kind to yourself, giving yourself a chance. Now this is very important, the last line. Many times what's happened when we make a mistake, think about it right now when I'm talking. My talk is not just some knowledge. If you can just imagine when I'm talking, the transformation can take place within 1 hour, I can assure you. It's just not a talk of knowledge. It's a transformational presentation. So when I'm talking just think about a situation where we made a mistake. And when we made a mistake, if you're not emotionally very strong, we start feeling guilty. We start beating ourselves more than necessary. We start cursing ourselves. We start saying, I'm that, I'm not good, I'm bad, I'm this, I'm that. We are actually punishing ourselves more than needed. If we done a mistake, definitely we have to make a note of it so that we don't repeat the same mistake. We learn some more skills, we can be extra careful. But if emotionally you feel guilty, then this guilt, my dear friends, will not allow you to grow in life. It will pull you back again and again and again. And it goes to the extent that people start hating themselves. They start hating their body, they start hating their personality. If not hate, hate is a very extreme word. You may not agree, some of you, but it happens. You just lose confidence. You feel, I can't do it, I'm not good enough. This particular phrase is there in the subconscious mind, I'm not good enough. Just because we are beating ourselves more than necessary, we are torturing ourselves more than necessary. Lot of negative auto talk goes on, inside our mind. There is a constant chatter which is going on inside our mind, and this constant negative chatter is not allowing us to perform the way we can. So my dear friends, first learn to be authentic, accept yourself. If you're feeling guilty, accept that I'm feeling guilty. I should not be torturing myself like this. If you're feeling nervous, accept I'm feeling nervous. Accept it. Discuss with your friend. Tell your partner that my mood is like this, so that that person can connect with your feelings and can relate with you. And you can connect with your feelings and do something about it. If you're feeling anxious, then you need to do something about it. Like, say, if you're feeling anxious, maybe you need to do some meditation, some relaxation. You need to find out from where this thought is coming, which is making me anxious. Maybe you have to take off from your work if you're feeling very fearful and work on your strength, develop some skills. So this is the way. Now I'm shifting to another part of the presentation when we are talking about emotions. There are negative emotions and there are positive emotions. And the problem is that most of us don't even know when the negative emotions are coming and when positive emotions are coming, because we are so dumb. We are so dumb to recognizing our emotions. So what are the negative emotions? So name some of the negative emotions, in your own mind, if you can. Because if I unmute everybody, then a lot of noise coming. But I wanted at this point 1 or 2 minutes of interaction. If you promise me that if your background there is no noise, you can unmute yourself and tell me some of the negative emotions which are you aware of. I give you a minute, like to talk about it. Anybody? I'm looking for some negative emotions which you people face in life. No? Okay.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hello. Tell me.
So, if I see any injustice, then
Injustice is an action done to you. I'm talking about emotions. See, this is the problem. People don't even know what emotions are. Emotions are like fear, anxiety. This is your personal emotion which you go through. Injustice has happened to you. Now I'll ask you, sir, what the injustice create in your
no,
emotional
not
personality?
injustice to me. If I see in TV serial also, if any injustice type action, then
Okay.
I feel unstable. Any injustice outside.
So, sir, you are making a very good point. You feel unstable, but I am asking the naming of emotion. Unstable is not an emotion. You feel anxious, you feel angry, you feel worried. What kind of emotion comes?
Okay.
Or you feel compassion,
Feel
this
angry. Feel
angry,
angry.
feel
Yes.
angry. Yeah, this is a very good point. So when you see injustice in the society, when you see injustice in the serial, you feel angry. So you have to connect with the emotion. Then only we can find from where that emotion is coming. Any other emotion somebody feels, negative emotions we are talking about. Please come out. Come up, come up.
Participants, please discuss.
So we have negative emotions like, okay, is anybody's there? Yes, please. So negative emotions are like anxiety, fear, guilt, and many more. I'll show you later on some slides. But let me talk about the nature of negative emotions. Negative emotions scream out at you. They stick to you. And after giving a talk, like I give an example, someone said just about us, like if I'm giving a presentation and somebody says, oh, your talk was boring, it was horrible. And if you're emotionally weak, you will be constantly thinking about that. And what kind of emotion will come? You may feel guilty, you may feel anxious, and constantly that will go on in your mind. Constantly it will go on in your brain. Oh, I'm not good enough, I didn't do the good job. And you spoil the whole day because of this. So negative emotion actually screams out at you. They stick to you. Hmm? This is the nature of the negative emotions, and it blocks us. So now I'm talking about two kinds of negative emotions, healthy versus unhealthy negative emotions. So first we have to develop the awareness of your negative emotions. Are they healthy or unhealthy? Now you may be thinking, how can negative emotions be healthy? Yes, negative emotions can be healthy or unhealthy depending on your awareness. So what is healthy negative emotions? Healthy negative emotions are an appropriate response to negative events. They let you know that something is wrong and they encourage you to make positive changes in your life. I'll give you an example. Like, say, you did something wrong, and you're feeling guilty about it. Now, little guilt, it helps you to improve yourself, make some positive changes in your life. Instead of guilt, it will transform into repentance. You're feeling repentance about it, and you want to just move on to do something better to improve yourself. But if you are having too much of guilt and you are increasing the guilt, instead of doing anything, instead of bringing some change in your life, that guilt will pull you down and will not allow you to do anything in life. So this is the problem. If you're feeling anxious about your future, let's say if people are losing job and you're feeling like in my sector, whether it's civil or mechanical or electronics or electrical, whichever sector you are, and you're feeling in my sector a lot of laydown is happening and people have been thrown out from the job, now you may feel anxious and worried. So this is a negative emotion, but it can be healthy or unhealthy depending on your response to it. If you feel like too much anxious, too much worried, and you become panic, people get panic attack, then it's not a healthy negative emotion. It becomes unhealthy negative emotions because this negative emotion is pulling you down. But if little bit anxiety, little bit anxiousness lead to carefulness, lead to planning, lead to conscientiousness, like if you want to go for a travel, for a vacation, and if you don't make any plan, you just go like that, it will be completely chaos. But if you have some kind of healthy negative emotion, some kind of fear and anxiety, if I don't plan properly, then things will not be that good. Then it will lead to betterment of your life. And what are unhealthy negative emotions? Unhealthy negative emotions have, sorry, that was the unhealthy negative emotions. No beneficial side effects. And like this one more slide. Do you feel much worse than the situation really calls for? Which I already described to you just now. And then we have, do you feel depressed instead of sad? After instead of careful? Enraged instead of annoyed? Hurt instead of disappointed? Ashamed instead of regretful? Do your feelings push you to do things that are unhealthy, that get you into trouble? For example, do you smoke, drink too much alcohol, or overeat? Do you procrastinate or important tasks? Get into unnecessary arguments with authority figures? So this is what happens when you have unhealthy negative emotions, because healthy negative emotions leads to the feelings and the actions which bothers you a lot. So please, the first step is connect with yourself whether your emotions are healthy or unhealthy. Unhealthy negative emotions will pull you down, and healthy negative emotions will help you to grow better. And after discussing these healthy and unhealthy emotions, let's go to the next stage, which is called positive emotions. Unfortunately, many people don't even have the idea which are the positive emotions in our life. When you ask them what are the positive emotions, at the most they will come out with happiness. Now let me again open the discussion for a minute. Let me check the awareness of the audience. Name some positive emotions for me, friends, like you were trying to name the negative emotion. Unmute yourself and please speak. Yes, participants, please come up. So some of the positive emotions are hope, inspiration, pride. Anything else somebody else can think of? Let's talk about the nature of positive emotions. Nature of positive emotions are just opposite to the negative emotions. Negative emotions screams out at us, but positive emotion, they just whisper a little bit and they go away, and we don't pay attention to it. Like sometimes we feel hopeful, but that hopefulness is there for few minutes, few hours, and it withers away. Need to become aware of them. So if you want to become emotionally strong, my friends, if you want to grow emotionally, start paying attention to your positive emotions. Don't neglect them. If you're feeling hopeful, if you're feeling grateful, if you're feeling inspired, if you're feeling fulfilled, make a note of it. Write down the realization, write down that experience, relish it. Don't just allow it to wither away. Positive emotions are not just about being happy. We need to become more specific about them. You know about being engineer, definitely you know about subjective and objective. Subjective statement is like I'm happy, I'm sad. This is very subjective way of saying. But what is the objective way of saying? Objective way of saying is I'm feeling joy, I'm feeling gratitude, I'm feeling kindness, I'm feeling contentment, I'm feeling hope, pride, inspiration, I'm feeling love. And all these positive emotions leads to happiness. So please try to connect objectively with your positive emotions. And then you will see how strongly we'll grow emotionally. Our emotions are connected to our emotional needs. You know that? First, learn to connect with your needs, and then you will connect with your emotions. So here, this is a list of some important emotional needs which I was talking about. Unless you learn to connect with your emotional needs, you will not be able to connect with your emotions. Like when you feel accomplishment is emotional need, affection is another emotional need, appreciation is an emotional need. When I'm talking about it, when you feel accomplished, how you feel? Do you feel happy or not? When you feel affection from somebody, you feel happy or not? When you get appreciation from somebody, we feel happy. When we get autonomy, means some power, some independence, we feel happy. When we have the facility to make choices, we become happy. So these are the needs we have to fulfill. When we have input, we have the opportunity to give input into the decisions. We feel happy. We feel we have been accepted, into the project. When you have the opportunity to look at the beautiful things, you feel happy. So these are the emotional needs on which you have to work on. If you're not feeling happy in life, it means you're not having the sense of achievement, you're not being feeling affection from some people, or you're not feeling and getting enough appreciation from people. You don't have the autonomy in life. All the time you're suppressed and you're feeling like your freedom is choked. If you don't have many choices in life to make, you become miserable. And then when you feel connection with somebody, you feel like somebody is connecting with me, you feel happy. If you have creative expression, what is creative expression? You want to express to your partner in different ways. You want to express yourself in the class to your students in a different ways. You want to express to the employer, to the world in a different ways, your thought process. We feel happy. When we have fun, we have play. When we have honesty, we have the opportunity to live an honest life. When we have opportunity to live a truthfulness life, we feel happy. When we have opportunity to learn new skills, when we feel love and belonging and order, we feel happy. So why I'm showing you these needs, if you want to find true happiness, you need to make a note of these needs and work on them. Work to get connected with people, work to find some opportunity where you can express yourself, find some opportunity, take some vacation, go on the weekend to have some fun, some enjoyment. Try to do some volunteer work, some kind of work where you can give honestly, completely yourself and learn new skills. Feel love and belonging to somebody, your partner, your children, your parents, your old people in the society, or anybody who is in the need. Then we need to have peace. When there is no peace, we are not happy. When there is not much physical rest or exercise or good food or good water, we are not happy. When we don't get respect, when we don't give respect, we don't feel happy. When we don't have safety, when we don't have security, when we don't have our own space means an area where we want to live. where nobody disturbs us, at least for 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day. Especially the intellectuals, they need a lot of space. They need some time to think. They need some time to introspect. They need some time to go deeper into their life. Find out, do you have that space? Physical space and mental space. What is mental space? Mental space means a time where you're just on your own. Physical space, you have your own room, you have your own corner in the home where nobody bothers you, at least sometime. The support, emotional support, physical support, if you're sick, somebody is there to take care of you. If you need a cup of coffee, somebody is coming and give you with love. And you are also doing the same for another person. Trust is one of the most important emotional need which we need to be happy. We need some people whom we can trust. And we need some people who can trust us. Understanding, you are able to understand some people and some people are able to understand you. I'm telling you, my friends, this is one of the most important and easy way to become happy. Just connect with your emotional needs and then try to fulfill them. And negative emotions arise when our needs are not met. Just opposite, the needs which I showed you in the last 3 slides, if these 3 slides needs are not met in your life, then negative emotions will come. When you're not feeling peaceful, you will get agitated. When you don't have your space, you will become frustrated. When you don't have people whom you can trust, you will feel insecure. When you don't have safety and security, you feel insecure. When you don't have the opportunity to have creative expression, you feel frustrated. You feel like, what kind of life I'm living? So like that. So when negative emotions arise when our needs are not met. So if you really want to work on your negative emotions, then you have to first work on your thoughts, which I explained in the first part of the presentation, your belief system, your pattern, the kind of people you are living with, the kind of people you are grown with, the kind of books you are reading, the kind of serials you are watching, the kind of social media you are exposed to, all that will affect your emotions. And second part, which I'm talking about now, the needs. If your basic emotional needs are not met, you will feel negative emotions. And what are the negative emotions? When emotional needs are not met, see, what a beautiful point. Angry. First of all, the emotion which comes to everybody's mind is angry. It is very easy to say. When you don't feel connected, when you don't feel, I have ability to make some decisions in life, you feel angry, annoyed, anxious, bored, confused, doubtful, disappointed. These are the negative emotions. How many times we feel disappointed? How many times we are doubtful? How many times we are confused? But if you want to understand the root cause of being disappointed and doubtful and confused and bored, connect to the needs which I showed you just now. If you don't have the opportunity for fun and play, if you don't have the opportunity to express yourself creatively, you will feel bored. If you don't feel connection, if you don't feel security and safety, you will feel anxious. If you don't have your own space, you will feel annoyed and angry. This is how it works. And you feel embarrassed when you don't have the opportunity to be accepted and respected by people. So people are generally confused about life. Why I'm so disappointed? And they start blaming others. Now, this is one of the most important points which I'm going to make. Please listen carefully. That many people are living in the zone of, what do you say? Many people are living in the zone of blaming, mourning, and wailing. They're constantly blaming others. They're constantly crying, weeping, and this kind of rona dhona in Hindi we say, constantly rote dhote रहते हैं. ऐसा हो गया, वैसा हो गया, this is the problem, that is the problem. because they're always looking outside. They're not looking the solution within. It is a very sad situation. It's like putting the blame on something else outside of you. But when you become emotionally strong, you start taking responsibility of every situation of your life in your hands. You start marching with confidence because you start connecting everything with your personality. You don't blame others for your negative emotions. You actually accept yourself and try to find out what am I missing in life. But once you understand what you're missing in life, you can work on it. Like say again, I go to the needs part because I have to show you again once again. If you're not feeling connection, if you're not feeling opportunity to have creative expression, what kind of emotion will come? Emotion will come which will make you more annoyed, which will make you more, what do you say, angry, frustrated. So these emotions are connected to the needs. This is the very important point of the presentation. And once you start accepting your needs, once you start connecting with your needs and start fulfilling those needs, negative emotions will start going away from your life. And when negative emotions will start going away from your life, automatically the happiness will start coming in life. Some more negative emotions I'll show you. Exasperated, fidgety, frustrated, guilty, helpless, hurt. So many times we feel hurt. Oh, this person hurt me emotionally. This person said to me like this, that person said to me like that. This is hurt. Impatient. We feel so much impatience. Irritated. We get irritated. Why do we get irritated? Irritation comes, anger comes only when we were expecting something and it is not there. So instead of getting irritated, instead of getting angry, why don't we find out what need I'm not able to meet and try to work on that need? Because to work on that need, you just need some initiative from your side. You can't just wait for situation to change. You can't wait for people to change. You can't wait the universe to change. It's the change we have to bring from within. People say we want to bring some change, but we don't know what to bring the change, where we have to work. So in this presentation, I'm telling you, if you want to be emotionally strong, you have to work on your emotional needs. Like lonely. If you're feeling lonely, it is a negative emotion. It means you need connection. You need connection from friends, you need connection for your partner, you connection with your children, connection with your parents, connection with the society. The moment you start connecting with more people, your loneliness will go away. So the need is connection. But you keep crying, I'm lonely, I'm lonely. Work on the connection. Like somebody may not be happy in one kind of relationship, but there are so many other ways you can make relationships at the elderly level, at the children level, so many ways. Volunteer, you can do so much volunteer work and feel so much connected to the society, and all your loneliness will go away. Mad, nervous, overwhelmed, puzzled, sad, scared, tired, unhappy, upset, worried. These are some of the more negative emotions. When do we feel tired? We feel tired definitely when our energy level is low, when you're working very hard. But emotionally, we feel tired when we don't get enough appreciation, when we don't get the opportunity to do the work which we like to do. So find out the work which you like to do. Find out the people who can appreciate your work, and you will not feel tired. Like that. See, I can talk about it like a lot, but we have limited time. I'm giving you idea that how you need to work on emotional growth. So positive emotions arise whenever needs are met. So I hope you understand the concept. Negative emotions arise whenever needs are not met, and positive emotions arise whenever needs are met. So let's talk about some positive emotions now. So this talk positive emotion when emotional needs are met. Amazed. Yes. Somebody has to say something. Astonished. calm, confident, contented, curious, eager. Please unmute yourself. Hello. Yeah, thank you. So amazed, astonished, calm, confident, contented, curious, eager, excited. These are some of the positive emotions. Like you got the need fulfilled of getting your own space. You'll feel calm. Your need of expressing yourself, your need of making decisions, you'll feel confident. This is how you have to connect. Grateful, happy, hopeful, inspired, interested, loving, peaceful, proud, powerful, relaxed, rested, relieved, safe, surprised. Just close your eyes and think of a moment. When was the last time when you feel really relieved? When you felt safe? Let's talk about only these two positive emotions, being relieved and safe. And when you felt relieved and safe, what kind of emotional need was fulfilled that you felt relieved and safe? It's up to you. Keep the experience with yourself, and I'm going to open the discussion after some time for some time. So we can generate positive emotions also by focusing on our strengths. This I will discuss little later. At this point, I want to connect with my audience for a few minutes and see what they have gathered and what they want to ask. And I have some questions also. So now I'm just repeating myself what I have been talking last few minutes. We have emotional needs and we have thought patterns and belief system. If we work on thought patterns and belief system, we can change our emotions. If we can connect with our emotional needs, we can become happy and peaceful. If we don't connect our emotional needs, we'll have negative emotions. And in negative emotions also, we have two kind of negative emotions, healthy and unhealthy negative emotions. And we have positive emotions and we have to nurture those positive emotions. So at this point, I want to open a discussion for a few minutes. If some people have some questions or a comment to make, then I'll take the discussion further based on what kind of understanding my audience have. Because this is a transformative seminar, it's not just knowledge seminar. So I would like to hear if you have anything to ask at this stage or you want to share something, some experience, what I'm talking about, anything, please unmute yourself and please say something. Maybe you can open your video also so that I can see you.
Sir, hello.
Yes, sir.
Actually, sir, if I have a colleague and I cannot leave the job, but yet the colleague does not, means we are working in the same field, but we have no communication between each other. Then what should I do?
Can you repeat again, please, if you don't mind? There was a break of the voice
Uh,
in between. Please repeat
Actually,
again for me. Yeah.
I have a colleague.
Yes.
We don't interact with each other, but we are working in the same field. So
Mhm.
what should I do
Okay.
to
So
better
don't.
the relation?
So I have to ask you certain things before I answer. So you are saying that you are colleague and you don't communicate, although you're working together. It's like not talking much
Actually,
and.
I try to communicate, but
Mhm.
he is for straightforward to everybody, but introvert to me. I think he is just thinking that some problem is arising, and I cannot leave the job for a bad colleague.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Generally, people are there are some blocks in a communication, some mental roadblocks we call them. If somebody is not comfortable to communicating with us, it means they have some fears about us.
Insecurity.
Insecurities or
Uh,
fears, yeah. So you need to find out somehow what kind of fear or insecurities he has about you.
about the promotions.
Huh? That you know to say here. So whatever insecurity that person has, or you can tell me, I can help you. What insecurity he may have? Promotion.
Uh, Promotion.
So both of you are in the same level, kind of.
Same level.
Same
Yes.
level, same level. So by
But
talking to you,
he is working more, number of years more. I am working number of years less. So
yeah,
I
then
got promotion faster, but he got promotion late.
so
So he has insecurity.
he's insecure. He's insecure. So in certain kind of situations, see, we cannot force somebody to communicate with us. This is another principle. It's a mutual communication is always mutual. Why you want to communicate with him? What is the need? What need will be fulfilled of yours if he communicate with you? Tell me.
Because actually he's not a bad guy and he has some knowledge which I can use to upgrade the company. Because if we two combine, then we can give a better format. But he is not communicating, so the production level is going down.
Hmm, very interesting. Very wonderful thought. Then I mean, like you have a very good intention that you want to grow the company with the help of his knowledge, but this person is having insecurity. In this
He is
situation,
thinking
according,
about only money, but I
uh,
am thinking about the company growth.
you know, it's very difficult to change another person. This whole seminar is, or all the emotional talks which I give, all my workshops, they are focused on you, not focused on another person. Because we cannot change another person's behavior unless that person want to change. This is one of the main
Can I
principles.
change the situation and help him understand something? But
Yeah, you can. For that, you have to do something for him where he start developing some more trust in you. You have to do some really, for that, you have to make some extra endeavors, sir. You have to try to find out what are his insecurities, what are his needs, this person likes, which gives him security and confidence in friendship. And if you
then
do those gestures, let me complete. If you do those gestures, then he may develop some faith, But I doubtful because he's too insecure. You can give it a try.
but if he means I am doing something, and if he charges me opposite, then if he thinks that he will get more insecure, na.
So you have to give it a try. It's a hit and trial method, sir, because we cannot predict the response. Human response is very difficult to predict.
Okay.
And then, but it has to be done in a scientific way. If you just try anything, it will be a problem. The science is you need to first understand the personality of that person, that what kind of person he or she is, and what things that person really appreciate. Like for me, I'll tell you a personal example. If somebody says, "Sir, I'm sorry," that doesn't make much meaning to me. The
Yes.
words don't have much meaning to me, the kind of person I am. Somebody says, "I love you." That doesn't have much meaning to me. I would see if you say me sorry, if you say you love me, you like me, what you're doing for me. What endeavors you're making
Yes.
to do something for me. But some people like gifts. They're just happy with you, give them some gifts. They are happy with that. So you have to find out. Some people like to just appreciation. Some people just like everybody like gifts, everybody like appreciation, but some people really like a lot of one of them. Are you getting my point?
Yes,
So
sir.
you have to try something, try to like you try to impress a woman, you try to impress a friend. You have to develop a friendship, you have to make some endeavor to create a friendship and connect at the emotional level. Then only you can, I mean, think of second or third part. आप इमोशनल लेवल पे कनेक्ट नहीं कर पाओगे तो आगे कैसे होगा दैट इज डज इट मेक
uh,
सेंस
yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
वेलकम
Let
anybody
me
else
try. Let me
yeah
try.
please try please you make a note of list which I just made about the needs and see
uh,
which need can be fulfilled of his. There are around
okay.
15 to 20 needs I showed in the slide,
uh,
which you can note down. Maybe we can send you the presentation also later on. You make a note of it and then you see which need is like fit in this person's situation,
okay, sir.
and that
Okay.
will create some positive emotions in his life, and then he will feel connected to you. If he's open enough, he's too close, you can't do anything much. So give it right. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else here want to ask something? Because your question may help many others also.
So when somebody's say I'm leading a team and whatever work is done, it is going by the name of the team. Okay, so the individuals in the team do not want to put in any effort because the outcomes are in the name of team. So it becomes difficult to get them to work for the team. But when it is at personal level, they are very perfect in their work. When they are getting personal, what you say, rewards in terms of like completion of work or anything. So how to deal with this such situation?
I want to know a little bit about you, ma'am, because that will be helpful me to understand the situation. What job you have, where you work.
Sir, I am a professor and I am leading IST team of our college.
Good.
So
But it's a very relevant. Thank you. This much is enough. So what I'm saying is, this is a very important question which you asked, Ruchira, ma'am. You know, to lead a team and to keep the team motivated, it's not an easy task. That requires a lot of sacrifice from the leader, from the team leader, because the team leader has to really make sure when team get the success, then credit goes to the team, credit goes to the individual. And I'll give
yes,
you another extreme example. If any failure, then the failure is taken by the team leader.
yes, sir.
I have one story for this. You might have heard about it, I'm sure, because you're in science field. This Mr. Dhawan in ISRO, Abdul Kalam talks about this story. You know, our previous very distinguished president of India. That he says that he was working under Mr. Dhawan in ISRO, and once there was a rocket launch or something, and it was a failure. And Mr. Dhawan made a press conference and took all the responsibility or blame on himself. Although the mistake was, for the team and even specifically about Mr. Abdul Kalam. But he didn't even mention it. And next time when it was a success, he actually again did the press conference and put Mr. Kalam in the front and say, talk about the success. So that required the sacrifice at the leadership side, ma'am. Because unless the leaders take the sacrificing role, team will not be motivated.
Sir.
Individual appreciation. Again, connect to the my slides of different needs people have. People want to be appreciated. People want to be accepted. People want the sense of achievement and contribution. Then they will be automatically motivated actually. So you have to give them the feeling that although you're working in a team, but you're actually an individual and I'm respecting each and every individual in the team.
Yes, sir.
It can be done. It's not. That's why successful leaders are very difficult to find. You may find a person who can do programming on the computer and come out with a powerful project on the results, but not everybody can lead the team. And that's why the people who can lead the team, they are paid highest, because they can take care of people emotions, they can take care of the people needs, they can go out of the way to. It's called servant leadership, ma'am, in the spiritual quotient.
Yes, sir.
Servant leadership means like you are ready to become servant although you are a leader actually. And what is a servant? Servant means trying to understand another person needs and try to make him happy.
Sir.
So in general scenario, it is not possible. I mean, people are just working on their ego platform. But if you practice emotional quotient and spiritual quotient, eventually you will find such fulfillment and completeness that
Sir.
you will be just in the cloud nine, like that. Does it answer your question, ma'am?
Thank you, sir.
Well,
Yes. Thank you, sir.
anybody else?
Good morning, sir. It's Sudhindra.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. I want to make a declaration. It's not a very serious question, but still, I just want to I'm trying to find out an answer for this. So I'll just give you the situation. It so happened like in the work situation, everybody faces this continuously for about 4, 5 months, 6 months. There was some reason due to which I was actually very frustrated. So I was frustrated continuously, and it was going on. So one day I asked my one of my colleague subordinate, just to lighten the mood. I just asked him, I'm so frustrated, so please go and check now. Like I'm going beyond this frustration level. So just tell me if there is any word for going beyond frustration level. Just for the sake of it, I asked him. So his wife, it so happened to be a doctor, and he came back next day. He told me, "Sir, beyond frustration is depression." So I said, "Bhai, I'm not in that kind of state of mind. Depression is too big a word, but I'm sure there will be something in between these two state of mind, or the word which defines between these two." And just for the sake of it, I want to know. I'm not, really in that kind of frame of mind. Just for the sake of knowing it. Is there anything between frustration
See,
and depression?
first of all, it's not the frustration is one side. Depression, definitely you can say the another extreme, but frustration is not one side. Frustration is one of the emotional, negative emotions which I talked about. You know, so there can be frustration. Let's say I'll show you again the slide. You can check. This is a very important, point which you're making. For that, you have to check. Okay, let me show you this slide. You are seeing so many emotions here. Can you see?
Yes.
Angry,
Yes.
annoyed, anxious, bored. Are you able to connect some of the emotions here when you were frustrated? Tell me.
Yeah, I think annoyed is
No, no,
better
no.
connected.
Listen. Just look at these emotions. When you are feeling frustrated, which emotions you were feeling? Were you feeling anxious? That's why you're frustrated. Were you feeling disappointed, confused, or nothing or none of them?
Like annoyed is what I was actually feeling.
Annoyed. Among all of them, only annoyed. Okay. Now
Annoyed,
this
disappointed. Yes, disappointed at
disappointed
the back
also.
of, yeah, at the
Okay.
back
Note
of,
down. Whichever you're feeling, note down, please. I'll come to
yeah,
you.
yeah,
We
yeah.
are working on you right now.
Okay.
Annoyed, disappointed. Then in this, guilty, helpless, hurt, impatient, irritated, lonely. Lonely, I believe.
Not
Irritated,
not lonely. Maybe
guilty,
helpless is helpless.
helpless. Write down helpless and
No, no,
frustrated. Frustrated
helpless.
also is there.
Yeah,
Okay. Now third slide.
yeah.
Nervous, mad, overwhelmed, puzzled, sad, scared, tired, unhappy, upset, worried. Any one of them?
Upset.
Upset. Write down upset. Anything else? See, look again at the sheet,
Yeah,
at the slide.
yeah,
Okay, no problem. So now I'm coming back to you.
yeah.
Right, you have written down 4 or 5. Can you read them for me?
Helpless,
Hmm.
frustrated, upset,
Hmm.
annoyed.
And all.
Yeah.
So these are the emotions. If you don't work on them, understand? If you don't work on them, you have to find out why you're feeling upset. You have to find out why you're feeling frustrated. Which need of yours was not met? If you continue to go in the same situation, then it will lead to depression, my friend. Depression is an outcome when your negative emotions become at the peak. If you continue to be upset for a longer period of time, if you continue to be upset for frustrated for a long period of time, if you continue to be, which was the another emotion besides
Annoyed.
annoyed, then you feel depressed. You feel so depressed. Depressed means you lose the desire to do anything in your life. So maybe your answer to your question may be that stage before depression is like, uh, in mathematical term, x tends to 0. You understand this language? I think so. You're
Yeah,
tending
very
in
much.
that direction. Eventually, it's just you start losing the desire to perform something nicely. So once you start losing the desire to perform, then it means your depression is starting. You start losing the taste in life. So this much I can say about your question. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else has any question? Okay, now if nobody has any question, I have to make few more points because that's also very important. So this is one slide which I want to show you. If we notice in life, we have more positive events than negative events. Just learn to notice, note down, and appreciate. So write down. Now, all of you, those who are really sincerely sitting at one place and listening to this talk, please unmute somebody. He's the background noise is coming. So, excuse me, sir. One of you has. Please mute yourself. Yeah. If we notice in life, we have more positive events than negative events. Just learn to notice, note down, and appreciate. Most of us have lot of positive things happening in life. Lot of positive things happening in life. Like even this particular friend of mine who was asking this question just few minutes back, he's talking about that I feel frustrated or somebody else feel frustrated. Why? Because the focus is more on the negative things. Focus on that I didn't get this, I didn't get that, and focus is not on the gratitude. What is gratitude? Mr. Gibbon George, please mute yourself. Mr. Gibbon George. So there are a lot of positive things are happening in life which we don't make note of it. So what I'm requesting all of you is just close your eyes, take a pen and paper, and think of some positive events or incident which happened in last 1 week. Do that for me. Make a note of them, put down on paper. You don't have to share if you like. You want to keep them private. But if anybody wants to share, you are most welcome at this stage because it's a transformative seminar. It's not just information download. You can feel some kind of close your eyes, think of a positive, not one, think of all the positive things which have happened today, yesterday, last 1 week, last 1 month, last 6 months, last 1 year. Although the last 1.5 year has been a COVID-19 situation, people are stuck in their home, many people have lost their jobs, education has been affected, but still I'm asking you, my friends, I'm sure there are a lot of positive things have happened in your life in last 1.5 year, last 6 months. Please make a note of it in your notebook or in your mobile, in your notes. Close your eyes, take 1 or 2 minutes. Nothing wrong in that, taking 1 or 2 minutes. Because this is the most important part of the lecture, which we are going to do now. I'll make you realize that how life is not so miserable. Life is beautiful. Now, my friends, if you have noted down few incidents, you don't have to write like with explanation and everything. Just remember and write one line or few words so that you can connect with it. Now, second point is that what do you really appreciate about that? What kind of positive emotion comes to your mind when you think of that positive event? And the positive emotions are, again, I would like to share with you, if you are not able to think from your vocabulary of positive emotions are amazed, astonished, calm, confident, contented, curious, eager, excited, grateful, happy, hopeful, inspired, loving, peaceful, proud, powerful, relaxed, rested, relieved, surprised, thrilled. Connect your incidents with one of these emotions or few of those emotions. For emotional well-being or for the mental growth, one has to understand the nature of mind. One has to understand the nature of surroundings. The nature of the mind is actually is like a sponge. A sponge means it absorbs things. So whichever situation, whichever surroundings you put the mind, it absorbs those vibrations. So if mind has absorbed some positivity, we have to nurture that positivity. But opposite happens. When mind absorbs some negativity, we keep nurturing the negative thoughts, negative vibrations. So right now what I'm trying to do with all of you by making you do this exercise, I'm trying to help you to develop the habit to absorb and nurturing the positivity in your mind. Because mind is a neutral guy. Whatever exposure you give to the mind start functioning like that. If we start nurturing positive thoughts, positive belief system, positive emotions, then mind will be surcharged with that positivity. And the process to do it is to remember, appreciate your own positive incidents in life and the positive things what is happening in other people's life. Unfortunately, today's time, people are more nurturing the negative emotions and negative patterns because what they watch on the news, what they watch on the social media, what they read in newspaper, what they see in the surroundings, what people generally talk, it's all negative stuff. Generally, people like to just share their problems. People like to share their issues. People try to, gain some sympathy and empathy by talking something, oh, I'm feeling this has happened to me, that has happened to me. But it affects us. If you don't have the capacity to absorb that negativity, please be careful. Don't allow people to just make you dustbin, to make a bin, If you don't have the capacity to press all control delete button in your life, don't become the emotional dumping house of other people negative emotions in your life. These are the some very important tips, or you can say the principles to become emotionally strong. Emotionally strong doesn't mean that you can become strong just by your own strength. When person is weak, person is having some disease, medicine is needed, but along with medicine, person is not allowed to expose to the infection. This COVID situation, so much emphasis is given on washing your hands, putting the mask, keeping the distance, along with developing the immunity. So the tips or the skills or the knowledge which I was giving you for last 1.5 hours is about developing your emotional immunity. But now I want to talk about not getting affected by the infection of other people. Don't allow other people to dump their negativity on you if you're not very emotionally high, very emotionally positive, because that will just be very difficult to come out of it. So mind is like a sponge, again I'm making this point, and a sponge has a nature to absorb. So we have been absorbing negative things and positive things. And now the process which I'm trying to make you do this is to nurture that positivity by remembering all the positive things which have happened in your life in last few weeks, in last few years, and relish it. The moment you start relishing positivity, you start feeling more inspired, more hopeful, more confident, more contented. And mind is like, again, it has a nature of accepting and rejecting. Mind has a chanchal swabhava, means it's flickering. So it's in your hand where you want to focus your mind. It's just such a beautiful thing. People say, I don't have control over our mind. They are not even trying. We don't have to control it. We have to just give the mind right choices, just give the right engagement, right focus. And automatically when mind is absorbed with the positive mindset, positive people, positive vibration, you don't have to control it. You have to use the mind to absorb more of it. So I believe you must have noted down few incidents now, and I hope some of you will not mind sharing some of the positive things, because generally people always share negative things. When they meet friends, when they meet relatives, they feel this is the forum when we can talk about our pain and anxiety. That is also needed, but also we should develop the habit of talking beautiful things in life. So let's uh, discuss some beautiful things which have happened in your life and see how much happiness everybody will feel just by hearing some of that. Anybody, please come up. Let's our mind absorb some of the positive vibrations right now, and we emotionally grow by appreciating and accepting and respecting and forgiving people behavior and mindset. Please share something. Shy people, nobody wants to come up. I'll wait for 10 more seconds. If nobody is coming, I'll continue with the discussion. Okay, nobody's ready. Now there is another way. Somebody's speaking. Hello.
Participants?
Nobody's there. So let me talk some more things which are also very important to this. So we can generate positive emotions also by focusing on our strengths. This is another way. First, I talked about the thought pattern. Second, I talk about the need and emotion connection. Now, the third part of the discussion, which is based on focusing on our strengths. Because when we understand what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, then we can become more aware of our personality. And when we work on our strengths, naturally the positive emotions will come. Generally, our education system is unfortunately sometimes is like that everybody is forced to study all the subject from the schools only. But I believe in the education system. This is my personal opinion, that whichever person is good in something, that person should be given the opportunity to learn that subject more compared to the other subjects. And that person should be have the freedom to choose that subject from the from very beginning, not until the end, like you are doing PhD or masters. Except the language and maths, language and maths, two main subjects which everybody has to study. But besides that, because they are the life skills, without learning the language and maths, life becomes difficult, because they are needed in every walk of your life. We have to see what inclination person has. Person has which kind of intelligence. Person has logical intelligence, or intrapersonal intelligence, interpersonal intelligence, architectural intelligence, musical intelligence. There are so many kinds of intelligence. And once you understand what kind of intelligence I have and you make your career in that direction, life will be so beautiful, I'm telling you. Now what happens in today's time, people just get into education, they complete their 10th and 12th, and they get into like engineering or medical or finance or But they don't know if somebody has a musical intelligence, if somebody has a artistic intelligence, that person will be frustrated being in that career. So we need to first, and that negative emotions will come. Even if that person is driving salary of like 2 lakh rupees per month, fulfillment will not come. So let me show you some strengths, and you can connect with some of them in your personality, and then nurture those strengths which you feel connected to. And you will see how much change will come in your life, in your emotional growth. First is perspective. Being able to provide wise counsel to others, having ways of looking at the world that make sense to oneself and others. So this is one of the strengths some people have. Like I personally have this strength, and there is nothing wrong in talking about your strength. I have been have this ability personally that I can be very perspective about life. I can see the situation from different angles. I can see the people from different angles, and can assist people and in just going ahead in life to get more awareness in their life. That's why one of my profession is counseling, coaching, on individual people life, and giving some workshop which can give the idea to grow people. Now second is prudence. Prudence means being careful about one's choices, not taking undue risks, not saying or doing things that might later be regretted. So there are some people who are very careful in their life. They don't want to make hasty choices. They take calculated risk. This is a strength, actually. And if they are like that, and if they keep doing like this, they will not be regretting later on, and it will lead to positive emotions. Then love of learning. Some people like to learn, mastering new skills, topics, bodies of knowledge, whether on one's on formally related to the strength of curiosity, but goes beyond it. Describe the tendency to add systematically to what one knows. Like some people knows a lot, but they still want to learn more and more and more and more. This is one of the strength which can lead to the positive emotion. If you have this strength of love of learning and you're focusing on love of learning, the next time whenever you read a book, you attend a workshop, you attend a course, you feel happy. So this is another way of bringing positive emotions in your life. Somebody is being honest, speaking the truth, but more broadly presenting oneself in a genuine way and acting in a sincere way. This is called honesty, taking responsibility of one's feelings and action. We talked about it, if you remember, being vulnerable, authenticity. So if you have this strength, and if you practice it more, you will feel more positive in life. Now, all of these will not be there in all of you. We'll have say, out of them, few will be there in more percentage, and few will be there in less percentage. And whichever you feel you have that one, you should focus on that more. That is the idea. Then we have curiosity. Taking an interest in ongoing experience for its own sake, finding subjects and topics fascinating, exploring and discovering. If you have this strength, if you feel like you're curious, you take interest in new subject, new topics, you want to understand what is it about, what this new thing has come in the market, what this new technology has come, what this new thing has come, it means it's your strength. And you should take out time, you should take out some money and energy to do some knowledge and acquiring those things, and it will again develop the positive emotions in your life. Then judgment. Thinking things through and examining them from all sides, not jumping to conclusions, being able to change one's mind in light of evidence. Now, this quality many people have. This is very much related to the perspective which I was talking in the first quality. It is like thinking and examining from all the angles and not jumping to the conclusion immediately. Many people have this tendency that they hear a little bit and they immediately want to give the judgment. I mean, just imagine you are a team leader. Ruchira man, one of the ma'am was asking that question about that leading the team. If you're a team leader and one of your people in your team want to give some suggestion, And without giving proper hearing to that person, without understanding the perspective, you give the judgment. How that person will feel? Emotionally disconnection, disrespected, disheartened, disappointed. But if you have the quality of hearing and you don't give judgment immediately, you hear from that person, then you ask another person, what do you think about this? Then you give your opinion, and then you come to a conclusion. I mean, how happy you will be and how happy other people will be in the team. Humility. Letting one's accomplishments speak for themselves, not regarding oneself as more special than one is. Like many people have the habit of, boasting themselves. I did this, I did this, I did that, I was good at it, and people gave me this, people told about me like that. But the people who have humility, they don't boast themselves. Their accomplishment speak for themselves. And if you're like that, just be like that. Don't try to imitate anybody who has the habit of talking about himself or else a lot. If you're humble, be humble. And this quality of being humility will give you happiness, will bring positivity in your life. Because that's what you are. Then we have spirituality. Spirituality is having coherent beliefs about the higher purpose and meaning of the universe, knowing where one fits within the large scheme, having beliefs about the meaning of life that shape, conduct, and provide comfort. Like some people are not spiritually aware. They don't know what is the purpose of life. They don't know what is the purpose of this universe. They don't know where they're fitting in this world. They don't know where they fit in the society, they fit in the family. They don't understand any higher power in the universe. But there are some people who have this strength, then they can actually understand the bigger plan of the universe, bigger plan of the family, bigger plan of the society, bigger plan of the government, whatever it is. They want to be part of that bigger plan instead of just cursing and blaming and complaining. They understand the deeper aspects of life, the deeper aspects of, they don't get affected if they lose some near and dear one. They don't get affected if they get some loss in their life because they understand anything can change in life. The change is a constant principle in this universe. They understand how this universe function, how things are temporary here. It's unpredictable. And there are miseries and there are troubles and the problems. And this person knows, who is spiritually minded, that how to flow in this world without getting affected in your consciousness. So if you're that kind, work on that strength. And the more you will work on that, you will feel positive emotions. Forgiveness. Forgiving those who have done wrong, accepting others' shortcomings, giving people a second chance, and not being vengeful. Now, forgiveness is one of the greatest virtue to be happy in life. And if you have this strength, like you are easily forgiving people, forgiveness doesn't mean that somebody has stolen your money and you just say, okay, you keep the money, I don't care. We are not talking about that forgiveness. If somebody has been disturbing the society, then that person deserves some punishment. That person has to be punished. They are called like terrorists. We call them Atatai in Hindi. Atatai means those who are trouble creators. So trouble creators need not to be forgive. I mean, they need to be punished by the police, by the Department of Justice. But on personal level, if there is some emotional issue has happened because of somebody's nature or arrogance, and you're keeping in the heart, and you're going on just carrying that burden, oh, this person told me that, this person told me 10 years back like this, how dare he talks to me like this. Again, it's called being vengeful. Being vengeful is like keeping the burning coal in your hand. It only hurts you. So accepting others' shortcomings, especially I'm talking about relationships here. You're living with a man or woman in a relationship, in a marriage. The beauty of the marriage only when you start accepting each other, start forgiving each other's small mistakes, not even mentioning it, appreciating each other. Life will be so beautiful. If you have this strength, please focus on it. If you don't have this strength, is very much required. You can even develop a little bit. Social intelligence, being aware of the motives, feelings of others and oneself, knowing what to do to fit into different social situations, knowing what makes other people tick. Now, some people are socially so intelligent that they can connect with any kind of person, any kind of forum, any kind of society, and this is one of the main strengths. So they should look for the opportunity where they can use their social intelligence, and whenever they will look for that opportunity, they will feel happy. Instead of finding a job where they're sitting just in front of the computer all day, they will not be happy in life. So if you have social intelligence, look for jobs, look for a career where you have the opportunity to meet different kinds of people in person, because that will give you thrill and joy. Then we have valuing close relations with others, in particular those in which sharing and caring are reciprocated. Like some people are full of love. You see, when they meet somebody with so much smile and happiness, they want to give themselves to others, they want to do something for others. They were so caring. If you're like one of them, look for the opportunities where you can do all these things. Go to some old age homes, go to some children, go to some people who are in trouble, hospitals. Give your love where you can just do it selflessly. Go to some animals like cows and others who can reciprocate with your love also. Because old people and children and cows, there are some innocent animals, they reciprocate with your love so much, and how much happiness and positivity will come. Just imagine. Then you have creativity. Like if you're one of the person who creative, thinking of novel and productive ways to conceptualize and do things, includes artistic achievement but is not limited to it. Some people are so creative. I mean, they just sit with the paper and some drawing comes out. They sit with a book and they're reading, and after they start writing, a novel comes out, an article comes out. Some people just so creative. If you are one of them, again, take out time to be creative. If you're stuck in a job which is not creative, you will not be happy. Even if it's paying you like say 30 lakh per annum, or 40 lakh per annum. This person will be frustrated. So even if you're stuck in such a job, take out some time to do some creative stuff, maybe at your home, maybe on the weekend, and nurture this strength of yourself and see how happy you will feel. Fairness. Treating all people the same according to nations of fairness and justice, not letting feelings bias decisions about others, giving everyone a fair chance. One of the friend was asking or commenting in the beginning that person feel angry when injustice is done. Some people really feel irritated and angry when they see injustice in the society and everywhere. So then if you're like that, nurture this quality to treat everybody equally as much as possible. Just do it. You may not give justice to everybody, but you can, from your side, you can try to give respect to each and every individual, whomever you meet, whether they are your students in the college, whether they are your employees, whether the people working under as a subordinate under you. Again, this will bring happiness in your life. Self-regulation. Regulating what one feels and does, being disciplined, controlling one's appetites and emotions. This is called self-regulation. Some people are very disciplined and regulated. And when they feel their life is regulated and disciplined, again the positive emotion comes. So many times what happens when regulated and disciplined people live in a family or in a society where their discipline get affected, they feel so frustrated. So then they have to talk to their family members, they have to talk to their boss and express their need and their strength. That if I get the opportunity to being regulated and disciplined, I can perform much better, sir. So efficiency will increase, and even the, what you say, your happiness and positive emotions will increase. Kindness, doing favors and good deeds for others, helping them, taking care of them. Gratitude, being aware of and thankful for the good things that happen, taking time to express thanks. Now, this kindness and gratitude, if you have one of these strengths or both the strengths, I mean, you should take out some time to write down gratitude journal. Express your gratitude to different people. Go to people and say them, thank you so much what you have done in my life. And when you do it, you have positive emotions immediately. Kindness, when you do favors, one of the very simple favor is just giving a smile to somebody. Just giving a smile to somebody. So if you can't do anything, just give a smile to people, talk to them politely, and again positive emotions will come out. So these are the some list of strengths which I wanted to share with all of you. And my request to all of you is what I have discussed in today's class, a lot of concepts are there, but I tried to present it in a very systematic way as much as I could. Please meditate on them, for next few hours or few minutes or maybe few days. You have constantly lectures going on, but if you get a break in between, think about the points which I was talking about it and relate to your personal life. And when you relate to your personal life, the transformation will happen. I'm assuring you that. Make some points, think about them throughout the week. Again, relate to your life, think of some incidents, and then again try to apply them in future when this kind of situation come in your life. So this ends my presentation where I spoke first in the beginning that your feelings depends on your thought patterns and belief systems, and they come from our surroundings, from our upbringing, the pattern which we are carrying, and we can change the pattern if we develop the awareness how we respond to the situation. So that's why the first step is to be aware that what is my thought person and belief system. Second, I talked about that how your emotions are connected to your emotional needs. So you need to find out which emotional needs are not being fulfilled in my life, and I have to work on them. It's not just getting money and getting a good job and getting a good house. It's like fulfilling my needs. That's very one of the things. And then third point I talk about is try to find your strengths and work on your strengths. And when you will work on the strengths, then automatically positivity and happiness will come in your life. So, my dear friends, I'm really thankful to you for attending this seminar, and I'm so happy that I got this opportunity to share. If you have some more things to know about it, maybe you can visit my social media stuff. It's on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Some videos are there. You can watch them. Just give the title Grow with Vivek and you will find tons of it. And if you have any question, we have 3-4 minutes. I don't mind taking it. And just 1 or 2 questions we can take in the end. Please ask. I'm happy to answer it.
One question is there in the chat box, sir.
Okay, can you read it for me, please? Just.
Sir,
Okay,
how we can identify the person who are reach us with negative attitude or energy?
Wait a minute, let me read it. Let's see. Chat box, no? You can't open the chat box. Can you read again, please? Yeah. How we can identify? Sorry?
How we can identify the person who reach us with negative attitude or energy?
Oh, that's very easy. It's very easy. For those people who reach us with negative attitude, they're always in the mood of complaining. Like somebody has a negative attitude, like anxiety, worry, guilty. So that negative energy is very easy to find. Negative energy, another way of looking at it, it actually puts you down. When you meet a negative person, you come out with the not with positive energy, because energies are very what you say, mm, contagious. Contagious means it affects you. If you meet a positive person, immediately you feel like all the positive emotions will come out, positive feelings will come out. Like you will feel hopeful, you will feel inspired, you feel contented. So if positive emotions are coming out by meeting somebody, it means the person is coming with the positive energy. If negative emotions are coming out, disappointment, hurt, or what are the negative emotions, guilt, so many negative emotions we were talking, annoyed, angry, so then it means the person was coming with a negative energy. So check your emotions and you will find what energy that person has come up to you. Okay, this is the answer. Anybody else, or can I, it's the time that Dr. Vijay Lakshmi can decide when to end.
Participants?
It's 11 o'clock. If you want, you can end it. But I was waiting one or two questions if you want.
Okay, I don't think that there are more questions.
Fine.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us in this Atal FDP and sharing your views about the mental and emotional growth. I hope that the participants will be benefited with these views. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, will you please share your mail ID also?
Yeah, I have 1 minute. I'll share. It's there on this slide. You can note
Because
down.
I have some confusion. That is that this webinar is not a proper platform because of that things are personal, like personal improvement. So I'm just not asking any question now.
Where is that?
Okay, sir, please share your contact details.
I was sharing. Where is gone? Yeah, it's there. Can you see it?
No, sir.
No. 1 minute. I'll show. Just 1 minute. I'm unable to share now. Here it comes. Can you see it now? Ma'am, is it visible now?
No, no, sir. Participants, please note the contact details.
It has come now, no?
It is coming.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I got. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you. Anyway, have a nice day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining.
You can note down just 5 more seconds if they want.
Sir, are you doing any personal counseling, sir?
Yeah, you can see my website. Everything is there on that. Sure.
Hello, this is Mayank, sir. Actually, I am practitioner hypnotherapist, and so that you will be a better resource for me for future upgradation also. That's why I asked your email ID,
Sure.
and I will definitely go with your website also.
Sure, sure.
Okay.
A lot
And,
of things are there.
I also doing neuro-linguistic programming.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
This is a platform to connect with like-minded people also, because we need to support each other.
Actually, basically, I am from engineering side, but I have interests since long time, and I have read so much things and doing practice for counseling.
That's wonderful. I
Thank you,
also
sir.
from engineering background, actually, long back. So
Yes, sir.
but I connect with emotions more now compared to
Definitely.
because engineering nowadays
charac-
is more of a digital 0 and 1, but life doesn't work on 0
I
and
have
1.
this characteristic since birth. I don't say like that, but I have very strong interest in this field.
It will be great to connect. So, hai, I think we should take. It's time to say bye to each other, and we'll reconnect
Yes,
again.
yes, sir. Definitely, sir. Yes, sir. Now I am just studying about the past life regression.
Great. Chaliye, bye. Namaste.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I request all the participants to please leave this meeting. You have to join. It is already 11.